All right, well, the tale of two cannabis companies set to merge continues since Canada's largest cannabis company, Canopy Growth, announced an agreement to buy American cannabis company Acreage Holdings last month. Canopy shares have risen about 5%, while Acreage shares have retreated about 7%. Now, that's interesting because Acreage shares would be swapped at about a 40% premium to where they had been trading, but the deal, of course, is contingent on shareholders' approval, with a date now set for a June 19th vote. So here to discuss is Canopy Growth CEO Bruce Linton and Acreage Holdings CEO Kevin Murphy. Guys, thanks so much for taking the time. It's good to have you both here on set together. Kevin, I want to start with you, though, because you're the company that's kind of getting scooped up here. And when we talk about this vote, you're going to need a 66% approval for this to go through, right?
We are.
Now, interesting is we've seen some investors come out and say that this is, value destructive when we talk about this deal. I'd be curious to get your thoughts on that, Mercado Capital being one of them. But how sure are you this deal is going to pass? Last time you were on, you said 100%. Is it still 100% in your mind?
Still 100%. I'm still 100%. And I think it's about the education of the deal itself. Mm-hmm. Everyone that I have spoken to, and I've spoken to many of our shareholders, are very, very excited about the combination of efforts. So I feel very, very good about where we are and where we're going. Yes, there is a shareholder that has voiced his displeasure.
They only own about 3% of outstanding voting shares. I should note that as well.
I'd say that they actually own much less than that.
Okay.
There's a miscalculation, but the fact of the matter is they own less than 1%. Mm-hmm. And just today, a very positive article came out on the flip side, saying how it was a, frankly, watershed moment for U.S. cannabis companies, and we believe that we will lead that with Canopy.
Mm-hmm. Bruce, are you also just as optimistic? Because that's the thing, it has to pass with both your guys' shareholders. So are you just as confident as 100% over here?
Well, I can see why each of the parties would vote in favor of it if they understand the deal.
Uh-huh.
So the reason Kevin and I are walking around the story is, it's yes, the shareholders in Acreage will get $2.50-ish a share right now. And then they have the value of flipping into our stock. But what's going to happen is over the next 18 or 24 months is Acreage will have access to all our brands and all our IP, which means that as they go into all their markets and they wish to dominate, mm-hmm. they have a bunch of silver bullets, and that their cost of capital should come down because they have a gold-backed stock.
Yeah.
And so I think what we're proposing is that if you really want to win in a very hostile, tough environment, this is a solution to be sure you're number one in all the jurisdictions they operate. And I don't know why any shareholder on either side wouldn't see that as a great platform we help build and a great asset and win they get. Mm-hmm. But 250 pages of proxy circular is only read by the lawyers.
Yeah.
And so really there's a translation.
And by us.
Well, but this is our job, is to translate this opportunity to have a dominant player with far more certainty than can be done. They have a great management team, but this billions of dollars that we have and are using to create intellectual property that we get to lend them for free is a pretty good asset.
Got it.
So Bruce, I have a two-part question for you. So obviously Canopy just purchased This Works, the skincare company. One, first and foremost, I'm wondering why This Works, considering they don't have any lines with CBD in them right now. Right. And two, what more can we expect from you guys in terms of expansion into this space? Is it end at skincare, or are you planning on doing other things?
So what we're trying to do with Canopy is look at every place that we could use cannabinoids to create outcomes that customers would pay for, that maybe those outcomes don't exist now. So what we liked about This Works is that they're a very trusted skincare product and they have a very good sleep line. What we want to do is take those two categories and enhance them with new product sets, all driven by cannabinoids, CBD principally. And so what we'll have is their great business, their trusted brands, they're in over 35 markets. Think countries, and then add this new product set, which is where our specialty comes from. So we don't have to undo bad practices. We get to increment really good practices. And I think you're going to find us in everything from sports recovery, package alcohol competitors like our beverage, the Tweed and Tonic, mm-hmm. skincare, animal care, geriatric care. Because what you want to do is you take the core of what you have and you expand into all the possible markets.
Yeah.
So when we sit down with the big guy and they want to negotiate, we actually have something other than just cannabinoids. Mm-hmm. And so I think you're going to find us execute very well at turning the ingredient into a lot of value.
And you left off sleep spray on that list too. That was a very interesting product.
Yeah.
I didn't even use sleep spray before.
Pillow sprays.
Yeah, very deep sleep spray. Kevin, I want to shift that conversation back over to you though too, because as Bruce mentioned, with the Canopy backing, a lot of the upside in this deal is the idea that you'll be able to use that backing to go out and acquire more companies yourself. So when you're looking at the space, are you looking to kind of approach it in the same way and looking at consumer-facing brands? We had Curaleaf on before talking about also finding other states to expand in and sticking to the marijuana medical side. I mean, what are you looking at in terms of expansion as you weigh these things?
Well, today we have the 20-state footprint, largest in the United States.
Yep.
And we're going to look to increase that very quickly. The deal with Canopy is very important to us. One, it gives us scale and know-how, and that know-how really comes with scale. Canopy has scaled to a great extent in Canada, and we can take that same know-how to the US and scale in the 20 states that we're in today and beyond. So we don't have to wait until we come together as one. We can utilize that know-how right away. That combined with the additional shares to go out and acquire other companies, other states. And now that we've announced this, many have come to us and stated, we'd like to be your partner because people in this business want to associate with a winning combination.
Yeah.
And they clearly see it as such.
I mean, when we talk about this, we had Aurora Cannabis on the show a little bit ago, and obviously if you guys are combining, that's one of the companies that's kind of able to compete with you on the scale that you guys would be. But when they're looking about coming to the US, obviously you have Nelson Peltz on board. He has a background in CPG companies and kind of finding these consumer-focused brands. I mean, what are you guys looking at in the space when they could come into the US in a similar kind of deal and buy up things? I mean, you guys have been oddly good at predicting what's going on in the space, probably because you guys are the most experienced minds in space. But when you look at it, what are you projecting for an Aurora to do, and who might they go after?
I haven't really, the way we've tried to build Canopy is it's kind of like a car with no rear view mirror. Because I don't find it very effective to look behind me when we're going so quickly. And so I'm not really sure what they'll do, but it's been a very good practice to copy us. Most people then can at least fight over who's going to be second or third. So I wouldn't be that surprised if this becomes a pattern that somebody else follows because it's a good deal.
But when we're talking specific names, I mean, you mentioned going out and you're hearing people want to work with you. I mean, what are you looking for? What do you need to partner? If you have that know-how, what else are you trying to do?
Well, we're looking to expand our footprint.
Yeah.
So in the States, we had announced our deal with Canopy, and really one deal that got lost in that announcement was our acquisition of Deep Roots in Nevada. And that is a world-class group of operators with 7 dispensaries, 40,000 feet of grow, and a very, very capable extraction team.
Okay.
People are coming to us, frankly, unsolicited to be a part of our program. So if we're looking to additional states like in Arizona, New Mexico, and Vermont, we now have incoming calls. And when we're thinking about M&A, receiving a call is a much easier, frankly, transaction to do than when we're making the call. But I think that people in the cannabis space truly understand that scale matters, intellectual property matters, and that is really what Canopy brings to us, and it's the combination of efforts that makes a dominant global player.
All right. Well, I got to leave it there. There's so much more I want to get to, but luckily we'll have you guys back on. I don't know if you'll be coming along, but I know Bruce is. Tune in to Yahoo Finance at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, June 5th. For our Business of Cannabis special, we'll be speaking with the CEOs of the largest companies, including analysts, in the space. And of course, Bruce Linton will be there. I hope you join, Kevin. I hope you come along, or I will be personally offended. I'll be personally offended.
We're putting you on the spot, so you have to say yes.
We'll see. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for coming in. Appreciate you taking the time.